Good evening, Moonriders. So, tonight I have the story of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And if you were in today, Wednesday, April the 8th, 2020's small group meeting, you were able to hear me read the story. If you were not, this is going to be your first time hearing me read this story. And if you were there during today's meeting, then you get to see me read it again if you would like. If not, go about your day. But for those that didn't hear me read this, here it is. This is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Long ago, there lived a princess named Snow White. She was a beautiful princess, and like all princesses, she lived in a castle. Her stepmother, the queen, also lived in the castle. The queen had a magic mirror. Every day she looked into the mirror and asked the same thing. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of all? The mirror always gave her the same answer. O queen, you are the fairest of all. But one day the mirror had a different answer. Snow White is the fairest in the land, it said. The proud queen became very angry. She wanted to be the most beautiful lady in the land. The queen sent for the woodman. Take Snow White away, she told him. She must never come back to the castle. You must get rid of her. There's the evil queen, and there she's saying, get rid of Snow White. The woodman took Snow White into the woods, but he could not get rid of the sweet princess. He loved her too much. Instead, he said, Run away, child, quickly. You must hide from the queen. She wants to get rid of you. Snow White ran through the woods as fast as she could. It was very dark under the trees, and she heard scary noises, but still she ran on. At last, Snow White couldn't run no more. She fell to the ground and cried herself to sleep. Oh, poor Snow White. Let's see what happens. Two rabbits hopped up to sit by Snow White. A little bird flew down and sang to her. Then two deer came to stand behind her, and a raccoon and a turtle sat by her feet. Snow White awoke and sat up. She was not afraid anymore. The friendly animals led her along like a little path. Soon they came to a small house. Snow White tapped at the door. Is anybody home? She called. There she is, tapping at the door. I wonder what's inside. The animals pushed open the door. Snow White followed them into the house. She saw a table and the seven little chairs. There were also 7 little bowls. My goodness, she said, 7 little children must live here. I wonder where they are. I think I will clean their house for them. Then perhaps they will let me live here with them. Snow White got down on her hands and knees and cleaned the floor. Then she washed all the dirty dishes. The deer and the rabbits helped her. When the cleaning up was done, Snow White and the animals went upstairs. There she found 7 little wooden beds. Snow White laid down and soon fell fast asleep. Do you see Snow White sleeping? There she is. Not far away, 7 little men were climbing out of a cave. They had been working there all day, digging diamonds. Now it was time to go home. As they walked through the woods, they sang, hi ho, it's off to work and off we go. The 7 dwarfs walked up to the very house where Snow White was sleeping. It was their house. "There's a light in our house," said one. "Somebody must be in there," said another. There are the seven dwarfs. Who's in their home? I wonder who. They were a little scared. Quietly, they crept into the house. They looked all around. "The floor is clean," said one of them. "The dishes have been washed," said another. "Who do you suppose did this?" asked a third. One by one the dwarfs tiptoed up the stairs. Perhaps somebody was hiding up there. They pushed against the door. Suddenly it opened, and the dwarfs fell into the bedroom. There they go, falling in. I wonder what's going to happen. The noise woke up Snow White. She sat up, her eyes wide open. "Oh my," she said. "You are not children. You are little men." "That's right," said one of the dwarfs. "But who are you?" "I'm Snow White," said the princess. There's Snow White, looking very surprised. "I'm Doc," said the dwarf. With his eyeglasses, he seemed to be the leader. "I'm happy," said the little man with the big smile. "My name's Grumpy," said the one with the grouchy face. "I'm bashful," said the fourth dwarf. He did not look to Snow White. He was twisting his beard. I'm sneezy," said the next one. "My name's Sleepy," said the sixth dwarf. "And that's Dopey," he added, pointing to the little man. Besides Snow White, he never says anything. There are the dwarves. The seven dwarfs took Snow White downstairs. It was getting late, and they were very hungry. Snow White cooked supper for everybody. It was easy with so many people to help. "This is the best food I ever ate," said Happy. Even Grumpy did not look as grumpy as usual. It was just like having a party with Snow White at the table. There they are, enjoying everybody's company. How sweet. Later that night, dwarfs sat in a circle around Snow White. The princess told the little men about the wicked queen who wanted to get rid of her. "Oh, Snow White, you must stay here and live with us," said Doc. "We will hide you from this queen." The next morning the dwarfs went off to work. Snow White waved goodbye to them. "Don't let anyone in," Doc told her. "The queen may be looking for you." And there they go, off to work. Oh, sorry, friends. There we go. But the queen was not looking for Snow White. She was looking in her magic mirror. "Mirror, mirror on the wall, now who's the fairest of all?" she asked. The mirror answered, "In the house of the seven dwarfs, Snow White still lives. She's the fairest one of all." "Snow White still lives?" cried the angry queen. "We'll see about that." She rushed down the steep and winding stairs to a secret room under the castle wall. She seems very upset and angry. In that dark place, the queen grabbed a dusty bottle from the shelf. She took a long drink from the bottle. Poof! She turned into an ugly witch. Then the witch took two more bottles, a green bottle and a red one. She poured them into a big iron pot. She was making a magic brew. Next, the old witch dipped an apple into the pot. "One taste of this," she said, "and Snow White eyes will close forever." Oh no. The witch took the magic apple to the house of the 7 dwarfs. There she found Snow White with her animal friends. "All alone, my pet?" said the wicked witch. "Here, take one of my lovely apples." "Thank you," said Snow White, and she took a big bite. Oh no, I wonder what's going to happen. Suddenly she fell to the ground. Her eyes were closed as if in a deep sleep. "Ha!" cried the wicked witch. "My spell has worked. Snow White sleeps. I hope she sleeps forever." The queen did not see all the animals running off into the woods. There's the queen, happy her spell worked. And there's the animals. I wonder what they're going to do. The animals ran to the cave of the 7 dwarfs. "Something's wrong," said Doc. "Snow White must be in trouble," said Happy. The 7 dwarfs raced home to help the princess. The wicked witch saw the dwarfs coming. She began to run. She ran so fast, she didn't look where she was going. And that was the end of her. See? Look both ways. Make sure you know where you're going. The dwarfs found Snow White in a deep sleep. "Wake up," said Doc, tugging at her hand. "Wake up, please wake up," cried the others. But no matter what they did, they could not wake the princess. The dwarfs made a beautiful golden bed. They put Snow White on it. Day after day they watched over her. Day after day they placed flowers on her. And still the princess slept. Oh no. Time passed. Then one day a prince riding his horse into the woods. Then one day a prince came riding his horse into the woods. He had heard of the princess, who lay sleeping there on her golden bed. The handsome prince found the sleeping princess. He saw that she was more beautiful than the flowers around her bed. He bent down and kissed her. Mwah. Snow White opened her eyes. At last the wicked spell was broken. She sat up smiling at the handsome prince. How the dwarfs cheered! How they laughed and danced and sang! The prince put Snow White on his horse and carried her off to his castle. There they were married and lived happily ever after. And the 7 dwarfs came often to visit at their castle. The end. Have a good night, Moonriders. Buenas noches.